Before Europe had cities, before Asia built empires, before history had a name, Africa was already awake. Not surviving, not guessing, but building civilization. This is not a myth. This is not exaggeration. This is ancient Egypt. A civilization so advanced that thousands of years later, we still struggle to explain how it was achieved. Tonight, you are not just watching history, you are remembering it. Because this story is not distant, it is not foreign, it is African. And by the end of this video, you will understand something schools rarely teach. Civilization did not spread to Africa. Civilization started here, long before it was called Egypt, long before Greeks stepped foot on African soil. The Nile River flowed like a living spine across the land. Every year, it flooded, and every year, it left behind rich black soil. The people called this land Kemet, the Black Land. Here, Africans learned something revolutionary, that nature could be studied, predicted, and worked with, not feared. By 3100 BCE, over 5,000 years ago, ancient Egypt was already a unified African state, with laws, with administration, with governance. While other parts of the world were still tribal, Egypt had cities, organized religion, medicine, mathematics, architecture, writing. Let that sink in. Africa was running a civilization, while others were still learning how to settle. The pharaoh was not just a king. He was the bridge between heaven and earth. Order, balance, truth. This concept was called math, and math shaped everything. Ancient Egyptians performed brain surgery. They treated wounds with antiseptics. They understood anatomy so deeply that modern medicine still studies their texts. They calculated the exact length of the solar year. They mapped the stars. They aligned monuments with constellations. And no, this was not alien help. This was African intellect, passed down through generations, measured, tested, refined. Civilization is not magic, it is discipline. Now pause here, because nothing captures the fear and admiration of ancient Egypt like the pyramids. Over 2 million stone blocks, each weighing several tons, placed with precision so exact, modern machines still struggle to replicate it. The Great Pyramid of Giza is aligned to true north more accurately than modern skyscrapers. This was not primitive. This was genius. And understand this clearly. The builders were not slaves. They were skilled African workers, engineers, planners, artisans. They were paid, they were respected, they were proud. This was a civilization that understood legacy. Greek philosophers, Plato, Pythagoras, Herodotus. They did not invent knowledge. They studied in Egypt. They learned mathematics here, philosophy here, astronomy here. And when they returned to Europe, they carried African knowledge with them. But history rewrote the story, and Africa was erased. Ancient Egyptian spirituality was deep. Life did not end at death. Death was a doorway. The soul, Kaba, Aha, was eternal. This belief produced moral discipline, long-term thinking, deep respect for life. Religion was not fear-based, it was alignment-based. Live in math, and your soul would live forever. This philosophy shaped Christianity, Judaism, and Islam, whether acknowledged or not. Let's say this clearly. Ancient Egypt was African. The art shows it. The DNA confirms it. The language proves it. Dark skin, broad features, African culture. This was not a European civilization in Africa. It was Africa's crown. Egypt did not fall because Africans failed. It fell because empires invaded. Persians, Greeks, Romans, each took knowledge, each drained power. But civilization never vanished. It moved south, it moved west, into Nubia, into Ghana, into Mali, into Songhai. Africa did not lose civilization, it spread it. This story is not about the past, it is about identity. A people who forget their greatness become easy to control. But a people who remember rise. Ancient Egypt proved something dangerous, that Africa does not need permission to lead, that greatness is not imported, that brilliance is native. So when you hear someone say Africa has no history, remember the pyramids. When someone says Africa must be saved, remember Kemet. When doubt whispers that greatness is not yours, remember this: civilization began where you stand. Africa was first, and what was first can rise again. Pause. Look forward. History is not behind you. It is waiting for you to continue it.